come here to chew bubblegum.
You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum, recorded from a secret location in the city that moves mountains.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Greetings.
We come in peace.
Hello, everyone. My name is Goose.
I'm Cronkite, and this is Here to Chew Bubblegum.
Bubblegum.
Only on the greatest radio station known to man,
104.9. You're supposed to finish.
WXLR. I'm talking slow today.
You always talk slow.
It's my thing.
No, it's not. When did you start doing that?
Today.
Did you also start licking the windows?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I'm not a window licker.
Well, you are. You actually said yes. How's your week been, Cronkite?
It has been absolutely awful. How's your week been?
Mine's been good. Why has yours been awful?
Because I had to come back to work.
Okay. Yeah. And this is the first time we've actually got together to record anything in like almost going on 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. It's
a mini vacation.
Yeah, it wasn't really a vacation. I had to go I was obligated to be in a wedding.
That was out of this world, correct?
It was out of the state.
Was it? Well, you also said it was out of this world.
I didn't say that. It was fun. Had a good time. Congratulations to the Mr. and Mrs. Happy life. Cheers to a happy life.
Nothing else to say?
Nothing else to say. I mean, without giving away their names and stuff.
Well, yeah, you probably don't want to do that. We're going to start out with some listener email.
Well, wait a second. Before we do that, do you want to kind of announce the big news that we figured something out here?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, I was asking if you wanted to do it.
No, I'll let you do it.
So we are trying out this new app called Station Head that's allowing us to stream live as we
record this show.
Record this very show, in fact. So we are live at the moment. It's called Station Head.
We're live on Station Head.
We are live on Station Head, yes. And this app allows us to broadcast live, and you can interact with us while we're doing the show. So if you want to hear kind of behind the scenes and how we get going earlier or during the show,
right? Please
jump on there and listen, and you can interact with us. It would be terrific. And we're, like I said, today's the first day we're really trying it. So
yes.
So hopefully it works out well.
Yeah. Now, do you want to move on to some listener email?
Definitely.
Good. Ratlove says, love the show, guys, and wanted to get your opinion on Bigfoot. Do you think they exist? Have you or anyone you know had any experiences? Thank you very much, Ratlove, for that email. I think Bigfoot does exist because he's been seen all over the world by people of different languages.
Different cultures.
Cultures. There you go. That was the word I was looking for. And I think that he does different languages. I just realized how stupid that made me sound. But I think he does exist. I myself have not had any experiences, and I do not know anyone that's had any experiences.
Yeah, I don't know anyone personally, but I am. I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent. I think that it's possible that anything's possible. And we're discovering new species all the time on this planet that we didn't know exist. So,
correct.
Sure, I'm definitely. I just realized somebody joined.
Yeah.
Somebody joined.
You're quit looking at your phone, man.
Well, no, I was distracted by the name.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the name.
Okay, well, let's not do that.
But anyway, I do think that it's possible. Yeah, for sure. We discover new species of animals, insects, germs all the time. So, I mean, I will never say, no, I don't think he exists,
Right.
Christy says, greetings, here to Chew Bubblegum. My name is Christy, and I live close to your area. Have you ever heard of the Old Road? I believe it's close to Chatteroy, West Virginia. The Old Road. Anyway, you can put your car in neutral at the bottom of the hill, and it pulls you uphill. Legend has it that it's the ghost of a woman who was hit by a coal truck. I really enjoy the radio, podcast, and YouTube show, Roswell. Well, thank you, Christy.
I have heard of that, and I think it's near Chatteroy. I cannot remember the name of the road. I actually did that in high school.
Did it work?
It actually works,
Really?
just the way she described.
Uphill.
Yes. I also heard the same rumor, but that was many, many, many moons ago. So, yes, I have heard of that and actually did that, and it actually did work.
Well, that's awesome.
So, actually, I think we told one of our science teachers about it, too, and he was saying it was the way gravity was. So,
Uphill?
yeah.
I think we should go try that.
Well, we definitely need to try that.
Definitely.
And who was that from, Christy?
That was from Christy.
Thank you very much, Christy. Benjamin says, hey, Goose and Cronkite, did you guys get a chance to look at the moon last night? It was unreal. I got some great pictures with my cell phone. Keep the ear candy coming, Roswell. And this one came in a few days ago, and I think he's talking about the pink moon that we had recently.
Oh, yeah.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually did get to see it. Didn't get any pictures.
One of our station head people have commented that says the unknown soldier grave at the breaks, same thing.
Oh, well, we'll have to go try that one out as well.
Yeah, for sure. Mark says, the recently released UAP pics and videos are amazing. I always knew that the Roswell crash was real. The technology that came after was not from this world, and we've jumped leaps and bounds in just 20 years. Thank you, Mark.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Cronkite fan. Oh,
Yeah.
this one is from Cronkite fan. Hey, Cronkite, since you like airplanes, what do you think it would be like to be on an advanced technology aircraft? Do you think our pilots that fly the TR-3B sign a non-disclosure form or are sworn to keep the secrets?
Definitely.
I
would definitely say that they definitely sign an NDA. Anytime that research and development is going on, most people have to sign NDAs. And, usually you have patriots that will keep secrets for the government. But then again, they could be paid very well to keep a secret. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely.
And I would love to go aboard the TR-3B. I think that would be awesome.
Me
I
too.
couldn't imagine what kind of interfaces and maneuvers that craft can do.
Definitely.
This one's from Lori. It says, hello, everyone. I want to say that I enjoy the show and wanted to get your thoughts on chemtrails. Now,
You've actually talked about chemtrails quite a lot.
well, I wouldn't say quite a lot, but I mean, I'm aware of what they are or what they're supposed to be. If we're asking, can chemicals be dumped from an aircraft? Yes, they can be. If you look at agriculture airplanes, the small herbicide and pesticide planes that are used in the Midwest and the plains, that's what they dump herbicide and pesticides. You also look at firefighting aircraft used in all over the world, California especially. They dump fire retardant out of aircraft all the time. I'm not one to believe, though, that our passenger airliners are carrying several thousand gallons of some sort of chemical. Now, the reason I say that is because there would have to be too much of a cover-up. You would think about how many people are on those airplanes, baggage, cargo. These aircraft can only lift so much.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you're going to then add several thousand gallons of some kind of foreign liquid, then I don't know. I just don't see it. What I do see is that the temperature at the altitude that these aircraft fly is usually in the negatives, negative 40, 50, sometimes whatever, 100 degrees or whatever. And the jet exhaust coming out of the engines are 600 to 1,000 degrees. So, yeah, I think that's what we're seeing on passenger liners. And plus, where those aircraft fly, if they were putting out chemtrails and we could see it, it's not going to land on us the way the jet streams work. You know what I mean? It's going to wherever.
That is true. Now, when we did the Art Bell show, we had a lot of emails. We didn't get to read all of them on the following show. So over the next couple of weeks, we will throw some of those in until all those are read.
Okay.
And this one, like I said, is in reference to the Art Bell show. It's from Chris. He says, "Hey, Goose and Cronkite, the Art Bell tribute was great. That's my favorite show so far."
Ours too.
Yes.
Loki says, "I really enjoyed the tribute to Art Bell. Hearing his clips mixed in with you guys at Here to Chew Bubblegum really worked. I'm a fan of Art's just like you guys are. I look forward to the next one, Roswell." Well, thank you, Loki.
We're actually going to be giving a guy a call right now. Hopefully, he can hear us and this will work. I think I realized what I did a little bit ago. If he doesn't, then we'll change stuff up right on the spot.
Hello.
Hello, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. You are on Here to Chew Bubblegum on 104.9 WXLR with Goose and Cronkite.
Hello.
And Cronkite, this is my good friend that I've known for many, many, many years now, the Creepy Kentuckian.
Well, hello there, Creepy Kentuckian. I'm Cronkite.
Hey, Cronkite, what's going on? I'm a little bit nervous because I've never actually been on a real radio before. I've been doing this for quite a while. But believe it or not, this is my radio debut, Goose.
Really? I find that hard to believe.
Well, we had submitted, I was looking back through old files. We're doing the Patreon thing now.
Yeah.
And, going back trying to find stuff that people may have never heard. For one of the stations, I don't want to, since we're on another station.
Right. Gotcha.
We had submitted it was called Rock and Shock, is the idea, where we would go over some horror movie news and play some classic rock and roll, heavy metal in between.
I love that idea.
In Eastern Kentucky, can you believe that?
Yeah, no, really? No, I find that hard to believe.
I love that, though. That's a cool idea.
That was it, as far as our attempt to get on actual radio.
We're actually, we're doing this show right now for WXLR, which will air this coming Sunday, and we're actually live on Station Head. We're trying that out, and had the cell phone hooked up to the board earlier before Cronkite got here, called a guy, tested it out, and then he gets here, and it does not work for some reason. Mm-hmm. He's bad luck.
I guess.
That's always how it goes.
Now, for those of you that have never heard of the Creepy Kentuckian, be sure to check out deadpit.com. But he has a day job, like we work at the cookie factory. Mm-hmm. He works in technology.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about, and we're going to get his opinion on this. And this is something I've wanted to do for some time now.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the Pikeville, Kentucky UFO that was seen in October 2012. Now, the article I'm going to read was printed August of 2013, almost a year after this was seen. Starts out, it says, the UFO seen over at Pike County nearly a year ago captured numerous people in eastern Kentucky and other area, bringing to question what exactly was that floating in the sky that day. Now, the source of the object in the sky may have been found at Google. According to a report in Wired magazine, the UFO seen from several areas of Pike County and reported to a police and emergency personnel on October 16th, 2012, was actually a weather balloon sponsored by information technology company and internet giant Google.
That's such a load of crap. And it's how it always is.
And I knew you were going to say something before I finished your story, because I could tell by the look on your face. Okay, this article goes on to say that the company, according to the magazine, claimed responsibility for the object in the sky, saying it was part of their Project Loon initiative, which seeks to spread internet to areas of the world not already connected. The object was spotted in Pike County by several people, some of whom contacted Kentucky State Police to report the sighting. Another spotter, Alan Epling, an amateur astronomer, took a photo of the object through a telescope in the Virgie area. The people in Pike County that witnessed the test phase of Project Loon saw a breathtaking plan to bring internet to unconnected areas via thousands of solar-powered high-pressure balloons. Okay, now high-pressure balloons floating some 60,000 feet above Earth, according to the report. The project balloon could be seen for several hours in and around Pike County. The cost of the project was $50 million. And this project was done in order to provide, like I said, internet access. The balloons would provide an airborne network connecting from a balloon to balloon and allowing access through a specialized Google device.
Well, what happened? It's been almost 10 years. The internet's still crap. But
Yes. Well, okay. And CK, you heard all of that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the picture that was captured was one circular tube. A tube, is a tube UFO.
Right.
It was not several balloons like it says in that story. Mm-hmm. Now, and we've talked about this before, CK, and you said the internet balloons were around during that time, but they really weren't used a whole lot until like 5 years later, correct?
Well, yeah, you're saying, what was it, 2012?
Yes, this was 2012. And Google's in eastern Kentucky testing these things, and they don't let any airport officials know. They don't let any emergency personnel know.
Okay. So Google, I don't know about Google. I mean, like I said, they could have some technology years ahead of everyone else. What our company has is, I mean, you can look up a picture of an internet balloon, all right, and we do use those, evidently. I didn't know that until I was asking one of the tech guys specifically about it. But I wouldn't imagine anyone would mistake that for anything unless it was maybe late at night. And I think the balloons are they look almost like a little light bulb or whatever when they're flying in the air.
Right.
Yeah, so if it's like a tube-shaped object, the internet balloons that I've seen don't resemble that at all.
Well, CK, let me ask you, how would you keep the internet balloons from blowing away? I mean, I'm a certified idiot, so I do not know when it comes to that stuff.
The internet balloons, I'm thinking the technology is similar to like the hot air balloon, right? So,
tethered.
But I mean, I'm not, as far as specifics go, I don't know exactly. I'm sure they look like a little hot air balloon.
So they would have to be tethered or something, yeah.
Now,
right.
Did you actually see this, CK, when it happened?
No.
Okay. And you've read up on the story. What, in your honest opinion, what do you think it was?
I mean, I'm very skeptical about stuff like this anyway. It could be any sort of technological thing that would be shaped that way. It could be some sort of secret government project as well. I'm sure that it's something within the United States government. So I don't think in particular it would be anything out of this earth. Just my personal opinion, but I'm pretty skeptical when it comes to this sort of.
Right.
I would think that, if that many people saw it and it was that, I mean, it would be a lot more well known. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
more people would be, there would be more footage of it on that.
Well, so here's the thing. During that time, there was a USA Today. I'm pretty sure it was USA Today.
Yeah, it was USA Today.
Had used a picture of it and basically said, "This is a UFO. Nobody knows what this thing is." And then this article comes out a year later. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if Google has been paid to say, "Yeah, that's ours." Or
if you do a little digging, that theory has come up in some conspiracy theory websites.
Yeah,
that Google took the blame for it and took $50 million of our money to say it was theirs.
Well, the thing is, Google is now on everyone's homepage and everyone's phones, and so
Firefox is my homepage.
That's true. Yeah, there was a time there when it was Yahoo, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right. And it seems like Google kind of come out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. You could be correct. Now, CK, and we didn't talk about this, but the recent UAP photos and videos that the government released last week or week before last, what's your thoughts on those? Have you saw those?
I have not, actually.
Really?
I keep up on this way more than me. So, unfortunately, no, I have not. I've not seen those. I did hear about it.
Yeah. Well, the government's actually said that they're unknown.
They are genuinely unknown.
They do not know where they came from.
But do you think that there may be softening this up for more?
I think it's very possible, because June 1st, you got a bunch of information that's supposed to be available. That was part of the COVID relief bill that talks about UFOs and the other things and technology. I think it's very possible.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be very interesting to see what they do tell us. Because I was on here before, back last year.
Yeah, last November.
The Roswell thing.
Yes.
I definitely think there was something up with that. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of this, if anything, and that may be a few years away. But like I said, I mean, they may be softening this up and leading us slowly to that news.
And I think you're 100% correct on that. And we've talked about that before. Me and you and me and Cronkite, we talk about it on the show a lot. I think they're definitely softening this up for something to come out. And, because for them to come out and officially say, again this year, these are unknowns. We don't know where they came from.
Right.
But, at the same time, if you get time, and you've probably heard it on the show, look up the TR-3B and just look at the picture of it. And that is one of ours. And that is a spacecraft that started popping up, in the mid-'80s through the mid-'90s, that was seen all over the world. And still to this day. And that is one of our ships. But it looks just like, it's a triangle. It looks just like, it could...
Like, there was an old episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like something in that.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, but, that one's ours, and they didn't admit that one was ours till when, Cronkite, the early mid-2000s?
Yeah.
So, and at that point it had been 20 years, and they finally admitted, this one is ours. Well, CK, thank you very much. Again, everyone, be sure to check out deadpet.com and my good friend, the Creepy Kentuckian. We're going to have you in the bunker sometime, CK.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't mind doing it. I don't know if you guys would be interested, but there's a really good alien abduction movie, one of my favorites, called Fire in the Sky.
Oh, yes.
I think that would be a good one to kind of mesh Dead Pit and hear the two bubble gum together and do something like that.
Yes.
I can get Uncle Bill to come with me.
Yeah, definitely. Let's plan for that, and I look forward to seeing you. And it's been a long time since I've seen Uncle Bill. We'll have our stools ready so he can reach the table when he sits down.
Yeah, we'll definitely need that. For sure. We need the hot chair.
Oh, well, thank you very much, brother, and I'm sorry that we were late calling you. I was here on time. I had everything set up. Cronkite, do you want to apologize to him again?
I'm very sorry for being late. However, I was only 15 minutes late. Goose was 24 hours late.
You were sitting there playing, dude. Okay.
We were supposed to record yesterday.
Well,
so
there was a cookie factory emergency.
24 hours late, 15 minutes late.
All right.
I'm just going to say that I'm a little better than you. We'll just
No. Well, thank you very much, CK, and we'll definitely do that and look forward to that. And I definitely want you and Uncle Bill to come by Bunker Studios, and we'll definitely have you on the show again. And thank you very much, for taking time out this evening. You have a good one, brother.
All right, you too.
See you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
see it.
And that was my good friend, the Creepy Kentuckian from deadpit.com. Great guy.
Yeah.
Can't wait till you meet him in person.
For sure.
So how's things on Station Head? Has anybody commented or said anything?
Just the unknown soldier.
Okay. All right. Well, we are going to take a break and have Elliot's articles, some Ned Said. When we come back, we're going to talk about some recent UFO Kentucky sightings. And we might not get too involved, but we're going to talk about a presidential UFO encounter, or 2 presidents, depending on how much time we have.
It's exciting.
But one of the presidents had 3 different encounters.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And he's been president in the last 20 years.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Which one?
Probably one that was former head of CIA.
His son, yes, you're correct.
Oh.
Talking about George W. Bush.
Fantastic.
So, where you're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Researching the inner workings of the net to bring you stories of the strange and unusual. It's Elliot's Articles on Here to Chew Bubblegum. Take it away, Elliot.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be listening. This is Elliot with Elliot's Articles on the Here to Chew Bubblegum show. Now, today I am back with my spooky family. Hello, Gertie.
Hi.
Hello, Beagle.
Hello.
So we are here today, and we are going to talk about a topic that is pretty close, actually, to where we live, guys. I've probably heard about this my entire life, and that is Octavia Hatcher. Now, what do you know, straight up, without looking at any of our show notes, what do you know about Octavia Hatcher, Legal Beagle?
From what I remember, is that her statue would have glowing red eyes.
Wow, really?
At
One?
certain points in time, maybe around midnight or 3.
So
That's
like,
pretty much hearsay, though, because of the area. So,
well, but how do you That's the thing is how do spirits keep time? Like, how do you know that your eyes need to be red at exactly midnight? And do you take into account daylight savings time? How does that work?
When it gets full dark. Maybe.
Okay. The red eyes thing, I've heard that before, but we'll see what this article says about it. What about you, Gertie? What have you heard about Octavia Hatcher?
Well, I mean, the big story is buried alive. Buried alive, and the husband erects the monument to her over her gravesite, and that I guess, Pikeville College kids dare each other to go up there at night. And
by the way, let me throw out this disclaimer really quick. That was me hitting the microphone. Goose would not like that. He jumps on Cronkite all the time for doing that. Let me throw this out there. The Octavia Hatcher, she is buried in a cemetery on the University of Pikeville's campus.
Yeah.
Please do not go and try to get in there and do anything like that, guys. This is Octavia Hatcher's final resting place. Let's leave her be.
Along with a lot of other people.
Yes, well, yeah, of course. So, Octavia Hatcher, let's talk about her story real quick. There are people, by the way, this comes from roadsideamerica.com, but this is the article. There are people who believe that Octavia Hatcher was not buried alive, although you may have trouble finding them in the city that surrounds her grave. I think there's enough anecdotal evidence to say that this really did happen, said Everett Johnson, curator of Pikeville's Big Sandy Heritage Center, now reorganized as the Big Sandy Heritage Museum. Most local historians do agree that she did fall ill and she was buried alive. That's generally accepted, said Jessica Forsyth, a member of the center's board of directors. Of course, they didn't know she was alive when they buried her.
Well, I hope not.
Well, yeah, I mean... Yeah, that was a weird sentence, wasn't it? But yeah, I'll give it to you. Octavia Hatcher was 20 years old when she gave birth to her first child, Jacob, in early 1891. Jacob almost immediately died. Octavia sank into a long depression, then a coma. She died on May 2nd, 1891. This was during a spell of hot weather, so she was quickly buried because, as they don't have the advancements we have now.
To prepare,
burial. After she was buried,
this was when she was mispronounced.
Yes,
dead.
She wasn't. Yes, according to this, she was not dead. This was early 1891. So, and then it was noticed that other people in Pikeville were also falling into quote unquote swoons, but not dying. The mass swooning I've never mass swooned before in my life. Mm-mm. Have you, Beagle? Have you ever mass swooned?
Maybe like once or twice a week.
Okay. Well, you've got more than me.
It's just me being very tired.
I understand. The mass swooning may have been caused by mosquito-borne encephalitis, or perhaps by gas escaping from a coal mine.
Sure.
That's why.
Swamp gas.
Could Octavia have been buried alive? The article goes on to say, they went to dig her up and found this horrible sight, said Everett. Her fingernails were all bloody, the lining of the coffin was shredded, and her face was all contorted. She had indeed been alive. An absence of news accounts of this newsworthy event is often cited by its critics as proof that it did not happen. But Octavia Hatcher wasn't just anybody. She was the daughter of one of Pike County's elite families. Her husband, James Hatcher, owned thousands of acres of Pike County land and made his fortune in timber and coal. Octavia Hatcher's gruesome fate made for juicy gossip, but actually reporting it could have been as bad for a bad business decision for a local newspaper or undertaker or doctor in what was essentially a company town. Relatives of Hatcher still disavow the story to this day. They say it was just a bunch of foolishness and nothing like that happened, said Everett. So, what do you all think? Do you all think this is real? Do you all think this could happen?
Absolutely.
I absolutely think it could happen too.
I mean,
Don't think as much.
Okay, so Gertie, the medical professional, decides
just
that.
flat out just denied me
I think
and
it was
you.
more difficult. It may have just been, a hot piece of gossip, after, a social out in the area was to pass away after, childbirth.
Well, I mean, it was 1891. They didn't really have
You have
a
to
lot
make
of.
up your own,
You gotta,
stories.
It's possible. Now, I did not know this. This is something new for me, okay? A year after Octavia's death, James Hatcher that's her husband, had a life-size marble statue of his wife set atop her hilltop grave, an expensive gesture for the time. Later, he built the downtown Pike Hotel, choosing a spot where Octavia's marble gaze would always watch over it and him. Still later, he built the James Hatcher Hotel, with a small museum of local artifacts in its lobby. These included the photograph used to model Octavia's statue, as well as James' own custom-built coffin, designed to prevent him from being buried alive. Now, that tells me something.
I guess if the husband believes it enough to become obsessed.
Well, I mean, when it comes to, did they not back then also rig bales, I believe, to string into coffins?
That was a common
I'm
practice.
glad you said that. So, James Hatcher never remarried. He outlived Octavia by nearly 50 years and was buried at her feet. There is a story that when he died, a string was tied around his finger and run up above the ground. A bell was at the end of it, so that if he had been buried alive, someone would hear the bell.
Yeah. See, is that like the first time that was recorded happening, or was that over in, say, like Europe?
I don't know. I mean,
the bell on the finger.
Yeah, but I believe in Europe it might have been to prevent grave robbers. But when they just cut the line.
It's superstitious.
Okay, never mind.
Which what goes along with me thinking that this
might have
not have been
well, you got to think too.
Truth.
Like if you look at what was happening in the country right now, the Bell Witch is a big news story. For our area, there was other stuff going on, so it may have been just people talking, making up a story. I don't know.
Just maybe after so long, the husband just kind of caved with it,
possibly,
and thought, might as well, go for it. And if I am buried alive, at least I have this elaborate system.
This may be terrible, but my brain goes to science facts of it. Okay, so if she's in some kind of a swoon, quote unquote,
we don't listen to science facts
sorry.
here.
But if she's in some kind of swoon state or a fainting spell, it's turned into this. People generally do not stay in these states long enough. I mean, I know it was a hot time, but I mean, you can see the husband loved her very much that he erected a statue of her that probably cost quite a bit of money. So I don't think maybe that he would have had, a 2-minute service in their home and then bury her.
Yeah, totally.
So she probably would have been on, on display in the home, in the parlor, for how long. And then, and then interred.
Yeah.
But how long was that period? Is that feasible?
Is that not customary for our area that or is that, I'm not for sure, but you stay with the person
sitting
for 3
up
days?
with the dead, yeah.
Sitting up with the dead.
Thank you, Ray Stevens.
I ain't sitting up with the dead no more.
But is that for our area, or is that for a wider?
I mean, it's an Appalachian tradition.
Well, yeah.
It's a European tradition too. So.
Okay.
It came
I know
over,
it used to be a step further than that. Also, wasn't it not that you would bring the corpse to a family home?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's where
why
the-
it's called
the-
a parlor.
Where
Living
it would
room,
be.
parlor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You would have people. That's why it's
There'd
called
be
a
no
living.
need for a funeral
That's why it's
home.
called a living room
You have a living room.
A
and
living
you have
room.
a parlor.
and a parlor.
You know what?
And that's where the
that
monument would be.
that just blew. I mean,
You didn't know
straight
that?
back.
Yeah.
Living
Blew
room.
my cat back.
Cat back blue.
Cap done blown back.
Thank you, Kevin Hart. The stories did not end with James Hatcher's death. Oh, by the way, really cool story. So I was looking up some stuff here, and the original site of the James Hatcher Hotel is where currently the East Kentucky Expo Center is located. The stories didn't end with James Hatcher's death. Octavia's grave was said to be haunted, and in Appalachia, ghosts were taken seriously as evidence of misdeeds. Every year, on the anniversary of her death, the statue would spin around, said Jessica. It would face away from the city of Pikeville, like she was turning her back on the city for allowing her to be buried alive. Fed up, the Hatchers erected a tall fence around the grave. The statue stopped spinning. Polly Hopkins, director of the Big Sandy Heritage Museum, told us that her father knew someone in his college class who had broken off Octavia's right hand during one of these nocturnal spinning shenanigans. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I say,
Sir.
please do not bother these graves.
People.
He was just trying to stop it from spinning.
He did not do a good
Hey
job.
there, stop.
Get her hand. Hold on to it.
You're going to
Grab
die
her.
again.
Grab her, Greg. Grab her.
She gonna get dizzy. No, it's just one of those things that you don't want to desecrate these graves. You don't want to go in and cause problems for the family, and that's just sad. But here, this is how the article ends. Ghosts don't seem that special nowadays. I beg to differ. People see them everywhere. Again, I beg to differ. But you'd be hard-pressed to find a grave of someone buried alive. And Octavia Hatcher's is a particularly, I can't speak, dramatic with its mournful, towering statue, mossy with age. Very little of this is documented, admitted Everett, but he remains convinced that Octavia's premature burial is not just a tall tale or spooky story. We don't know. We weren't there, said Jessica, but most people do accept that she was buried alive. So, that's a local thing for us. That happens in our area. And guys, there are so many. Appalachia and Eastern Kentucky in particular is so filled with ghost stories. I mean, you could walk outside your door and run into a specter, spook, or something. And these not only are they scary stories that are meant to, spook our kids, but they're also a way to hold on to the past. They're our history. So, Octavia Hatcher, God bless you. I hope it wasn't true. I hope you weren't buried alive.
Because what an absolute horrifying
Yes.
way to die.
I would be. I mean, it makes
Definitely in my top 3 worst ways.
worst ways of going. Yeah, I agree 110%. But that is the story of Octavia Hatcher, our local ghostly myth. Once again, we'd like to thank you all, dear listeners. Don't forget, Goose and Cronkite are on every Sunday with the Here to Chew Bubblegum podcast. And Sunday night, they have their radio show on WXLR. Make sure you tune in to listen to that. This has been Elliot with Elliot's Articles. Stay vigilant, dear listeners. Elliot, out.
It's now time for Ned Said on Here to Chew Bubblegum.
The first person convicted of speeding was going 8 miles per hour.
Hi, I'm Cronkite. Welcome back to Here to Chew Bubblegum on 104.9 WXLR, The X.
Go ahead and tell us about some recent Kentucky UFO sightings.
Sure. This one is from UFOs Northwest, March 2nd, 2021 at 9:15 p.m. In the Lexington, Kentucky area. It says a man was taking out his trash, and to the south he saw an object with tangerine orange lights coming towards him. The object made no sound and was flying toward him at an altitude of about 400 feet. The witness could hear traffic noises in the distance, but the craft made no sound. He was certain that it wasn't a jet, helicopter, or drone. The witness estimated that the craft was flying about 70 miles an hour and was about 1.5 miles away. The craft even banked toward the east. He said that the craft initially looked to be a diamond shape, but appeared to be rectangular shaped after it turned to the east. He said that the object was gunmetal gray and had railing on the bottom. There were orange lights on the ends and a yellow light in the middle. He said the craft was about the size of a city bus and had a height of 6 to 8 feet. The witness then went to call his wife to look at the craft. When he returned, the object was gone. He estimated that his sighting lasted about 30 seconds. The skies were clear at the time of the sighting. He conversed with neighbors, and they didn't see anything. And then he called police, and they forwarded his sighting to the county. He hasn't received a response from the county. An update, April 14th of 2021, the witness provided sketches of the object from 2 different vantage points, and he also re-described what he saw.
And that one was in Lexington, Kentucky.
Lexington,
now,
Kentucky.
that one sounds a little bit familiar with what we've saw before.
Sure.
You know. And you have a second one there that's a little closer to the Bunker Studios area.
Definitely. So this one's March 29th, 2021 at 11:30 p.m., Salyersville, Kentucky.
Salyersville, Kentucky.
So reporting party shot a video of a circular UFO changing colors, red, blue, yellow, and green. That sounds very familiar.
Yes, it does.
Report says it's not the airplane that you hear in the background. It is over here, and you can see the tree there. This is weird. It is changing blue, green, yellow. It is crazy, ain't it? I'm going, well, what the report says.
Well,
I see that all the time here. You can see the plane. This is real. I'm going to zoom in with my phone. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a UFO, an unidentified aerial phenomenon. This is it. It looks like a rainbow. It's crazy. It's gorgeous. It's red. It's blue. It's yellow. It's green. It's spectacular. It can't be more than 15 to 20 miles from me. This is something I have been seeing a lot. It has been over my house. I'm holding my camera as still as I possibly can. This is crazy. The airplane is coming from Johnson County. There is an airport back there toward Lexington. This is west. I am standing on Route 40 right now, looking west towards Magoffin County. This is close to the West Liberty line. This is close to the West Liberty line. There is no car coming to. It is not moving. It is just blinking. Now this was caught and put on YouTube, right?
Yeah, and there's actually I think I'll say what to look for on YouTube if you actually want to watch this video. It's a short, quick clip, but it is something to behold when you watch it.
Sure. So if you want to see it, circular UFO changes colors, red, blue, yellow, and green on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what and add Salyersville, Kentucky to the end of that.
Oh, yeah.
What's your thoughts on those 2 recent encounters?
Well, it makes me feel a lot better that someone else has seen what we've seen.
Well, too, and they're working on the parkway down there. And they're cutting through mountains. So what do they have to do that?
Explosives.
There you go. What have we said in the past about UFO sightings?
They like explosives.
Yes, they do. And we even had the one that we read on one of our shows a couple weeks ago from Elkhorn City.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they're doing some work up there too, aren't they?
No, that was one in the past that had happened.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about road work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I thought they were blasting them out now.
I thought they already did that.
Maybe they already did that.
Okay.
I haven't been to Elkhorn City in a while.
Why?
I have no reason to go over there. I just haven't been over there.
We do have a...
Quit questioning me, Goose.
We do have a person that we work with at the cookie factory, actually 2 of them that are from that area, and they talk about a restaurant named Duckers that they say is really good to go to.
Well,
And, we're actually going to have to do that sometime.
Definitely.
We've actually talked about getting breakfast there. It looks amazing. So,
well, that sounds good.
moving on. President George W. Bush's UFO sightings / encounters.
Fantastic.
Oh, yes, sir.
Good idea.
This first sighting was reported on November 20th, 2003 at the White House in Washington, D.C. President George W. Bush had his share of run-ins with UFOs or unexplained aerial phenomena. On November 20th, 2003, radar from the FAA and NORAD detected an unknown radar target within restricted airspace around the White House. The time was between 9 to 9:20 a.m. Upon the UFO's discovery, preparations to evacuate the White House had begun. NORAD scrambled 2 fighter aircraft to the area that the UFO was detected, but nothing was found. They then called off the evacuation. If the U.S. government doesn't believe in UFOs, then why are they running from them? What's your thoughts on that, Cronkite?
Well, so I'll be honest with you. That's right after. That's a very, very close to 9/11, post 9/11 world.
Yeah, that's
within a couple years.
Yeah, 2 years.
I don't know. I can't. If that event hadn't happened 2 years prior or a year and a half prior, I would say that is strange. But the fact that you have something unknown in it,
but they sent up aircraft. Nothing was found.
it was just a radar blip. Is that what they were chasing?
Let's see. No, they weren't testing anything.
Chasing.
It said the UFO was detected, but nothing was found, and they called off the evacuation.
Well, that's what I mean. Is detected. So I mean, nobody's seen it with their eyes. It was just.
Well, when the aircraft got there to the area that it was appeared on radar, nothing was there.
Okay.
Nothing was ever found.
Being in a no-fly zone, like around the White House, D.C. area, I don't know. That could be several different things. I wouldn't think. I mean, especially being a post 9/11 world, that doesn't really seem that odd to me.
Okay. Well, so on April 27th, 2005, a UFO was seen across the U.S. security radar just 20 miles south of the Reagan National Airport at 10:40 a.m. It moved swiftly towards the White House at speeds of 75 to 120 miles per hour. The White House was fast to evacuate the president. Minutes later, President George W. Bush was in an underground bunker below the White House, not to mention that Vice President Dick Cheney was not invited below ground, but instead had to be escorted off the White House grounds to a secure location. A black helicopter was sent to the scene, as well as a Park Police helicopter and a third local police helicopter for safe measures. All the helicopters that went to investigate found only an empty sky. The object disappeared from radar, only to reappear just a few miles from the airport again.
See, now that's
its second encounter.
This is where it's getting a little strange.
Okay.
Because now, yes, in 2003, yes, that wouldn't have struck me as odd, but similar instances now 4 years apart.
Yes.
That's a little weird.
Okay. Now, and you mentioned before we started this that his dad used to be one of the
head of CIA,
CIA,
yeah.
And he was supposedly one of the founding members of Majestic 12.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's some weird stuff there.
Now, are you ready for the third and final published UFO sighting / encounter that's ever been reported?
I definitely am. And let me apologize because the allergies are killing me right now, so I know I'm snotting around, and I apologize.
Oh, you're totally fine, my friend. A lesser-known sighting around President George W. Bush took place in Texas on January 8th, 2006. Over a dozen people that included a pilot, a county constable, and many business owners state that they have seen a 300-meter-long silent flying object that was brilliantly lit lights flew low and fast to the ground. There's no need to tell you that this shook them up, and people in the communities shook them up terribly. Some of the eyewitnesses also said that the United States Air Force jets were in hot pursuit behind the UFO. Radar reports that were released show that the witnesses in Stevensville, Texas, were correct. Something was seen on radar passing over them. The object was watched on radar as it flew over and over past Stevensville and went directly towards President Bush's Crawford Ranch. At 10 miles from the ranch, the UFO went beyond the limits of the radar screen, or so the government agency's reports says.
Wow.
Okay, now, This goes on to say that it was so close to the presidential ranch without getting a response from military aircraft unless it was a military aircraft.
Right.
This goes on to say that George W. Bush was traveling to the West Bank, Israel, Kuwait, the United Arab Nations, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt on January 8th to the 16th, 2006. So he wasn't home at his ranch in Crawfordville, Texas. And it makes it, some people say, all right, let me just read this, then I'll go back and tell you what some people propose about this third encounter. Let's see, January 8th, 2006, making it highly unlikely that he was there, but he could have been in the huge alien craft because America has numerous bases in the areas he was during this time frame, which could in fact allow the United States Air Force to experiment with alien ships without Americans noticing. So did the craft fly over the Crawford Ranch. The radar information was not given out to the public, but it was headed in that direction on the last radar report. Most likely the answer is yes, it flew over the presidential ranch. Now they're saying that, George W. Bush, with his fascination for planes and aviation.
He was a pilot too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He was a pilot. That he may have flew this himself. If that was the case, and it don't really talk about the shape of it, that could have been a TR-3B, if that is what some people believe.
Right.
That could be an explanation for that.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on that?
That's crazy. I don't know. I mean, that's wild. This thing is just buzzing back and forth across the town.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's terrorizing them. That sounds like something George W. Bush would do.
Yes, it does. Now the first two, I could see how those could be something not of this earth.
Yeah.
Even the one from 2003, going towards the White House, that could have been man-made.
Right.
And who's to say that it did disappear? Maybe it could have cloaked itself. We've talked about that before.
Definitely.
I just think that's fascinating that the son of George Bush, who, senior, who used to be CIA, former Majestic 12, who even in his older age, before he passed away, some people say, well, he wouldn't think in his right mind or he wouldn't have said it. He said something like, the aliens are here or something similar to that. That he basically did answer, yes, they are here and they have been for a while. But some people say, that he was so far gone at that point that you can't believe what he said. I don't remember what the exact quote was, but it was something similar to that.
You absolutely can believe what he said because if you were, yes, he was an old man and he was dawdling on, as old men often do.
Okay.
However, what are the odds? What are the odds that this man who was the head of CIA, member of the Majestic 12, former president of the United States, in kind of just in his dawdlings or whatever, says they're here?
Right.
What are the odds that those series of words come out at that time?
Well, and also George Bush Sr. is the one that told Jimmy Carter he didn't have enough rank to know the truth.
Yeah.
About UFOs or aliens. So take that fact. He was head of the CIA then before Jimmy Carter got rid of him. You tell the president of the United States you don't have high enough clearance to know that.
Exactly.
What does that say in itself right there?
It says, you don't need to know because you're going to tell everyone.
Well, and why would they not tell him? Because, and, you can go back and do research on Jimmy Carter, and they can say that, once he pushed the matter further, he did meet with some officials from NASA and some other people. I can't remember the government agencies that were involved, but they said for several days after that meeting that he was like sad and depressed and just looked shocked. So,
Well,
and this was in the mid 70s.
now Jimmy Carter, he's still alive?
Yes, he is
and still building houses for humanity.
Yes, he is, and he's like close to 100 years old.
What a gem Jimmy Carter is, huh?
Yes, he is.
So I have one.
Yes.
Do you know who President Eisenhower was?
He was president.
He was
of the United States.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So he saw alien bodies and a UFO from Roswell. That's what he says. One of the first conclusions an impartial observer must make about the subject of UFOs is that rumors and circumstances play far too great a role in what ought to be more exacting quest for knowledge. It is just such an observation which once led Dr. Carl Sagan to comment dryly that UFOs are more a matter of religion and superstition than they are for science. While this dismissal is perhaps unscientific in its own right, the point is well taken. Attend any gathering of UFO people you want and simply listen. Rumors abound. Perhaps worse, however, is that some of these rumors manage to circulate for years, even decades, without anyone making a reasonable effort to get to the bottom of them. One of the most persistent of these is a story that President Eisenhower visited Edwards Air Force Base in early 1954 and either viewed the bodies of dead aliens and the wreckage of their craft or met with live aliens on some sort of diplomatic mission to Earth. The story takes many forms, with the common thread being that Ike mysteriously disappeared one evening while on vacation to Palm Springs and that he was spirited to Edwards to view or meet aliens. It is said that he returned by dawn and shortly thereafter ordered an absolute secrecy about anything having to do with UFOs. For example, President Eisenhower did indeed make a trip to Palm Springs between February 17th and 24th of 1954, and on the evening of Saturday, February 20th, he did disappear. When members of the press learned that President was not where he should be, rumors ran rampant that he had either died or was seriously ill. The story even managed to get onto press wire before being killed moments later. To quell the fuss, White House Press Secretary James Haggerty called an urgent late evening press conference to announce solemnly that the president had been enjoying fried chicken earlier that evening, had knocked a cap off a tooth, and had been taken to a local dentist for treatment.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean,
that's terrible.
I mean, if it's a lie, what?
Yeah.
What a lie.
And we've talked about on the show before, there's some presidents that had information. Some of them did not.
So when Ike turned up as scheduled the next morning for an early church service, the matter seemed ended. Although the Palm Springs trip was billed as a vacation for the president, the trip appears to have come up rather suddenly. While the incidents of a local dentist being called upon to treat a president of the United States is unusual, that it is unusual enough for it to constitute a rather memorable event for those involved. The dentist's widow, in a June 1979 interview, was curiously unable to recall any specifics relating to her husband's alleged involvement in the affair, not even the time of the day it had occurred. Yet her memory appeared flawless when asked to relate details of her and her husband's attendance by presidential invitation at a steak fry the following evening, where her husband was introduced as the dentist who had treated the president. This would appear to have to suggest a cover story, the details of which would have been easily repeated at the time, but quite naturally forgotten 25 years later. Research at the Eisenhower Library has uncovered 2 other facts inconsistent with the dentist's story.
It's been great to be back in Bunker Studios with you, Cronkite.
I agree.
We're going to wrap it up here in just a second. Is there anything you want to say in closing?
Yeah, I want to say that I apologize for my incessant snotting, snurpling, and coughing, and very weird voice. And also, I'm not in my groove like I usually am, and I apologize. However, this has been a blast.
And I want to say special thanks to Carlin for all the voiceover work, CK, Uncle Bill, and the rest of the gang at deadpit.com, T-Shirt Joe at fastcustomshirts.com. Be sure to check out Talk Junkie with our friend Justin, and Down on the Holler with Jordan, Brad, and Jordan. That'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week, and until then, so long for now.
We'll see.
Thanks for listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. Tune in next time as we dive deeper into things the government doesn't want us to know.